Let me tell you something, most people never learn until it's too late. Time is not something you manage, it's something you spend. And once you spend it, it's gone. You don't get a refund, you don't get store credit, you don't get an exchange. Time is the most valuable asset you have. Not your money, not your network, not your talent, because time is the currency you trade for everything else in life. The question is, are you trading it for success or are you wasting it on survival? You've got 24 hours a day, just like every wealthy person, every world changer, every visionary that's ever walked the planet. The difference isn't time, the difference is how they spend it. Most people are busy, but they're not productive. They wake up, scroll their phones, check emails, watch TV, gossip, and call it a day. They mistake movement for progress. But let me tell you, activity that doesn't produce fruit is just noise. It's motion without direction. If you want to be successful, stop filling your calendar with tasks that look impressive but don't move the needle. Stop doing things that feel good and start doing things that produce good. You've got to learn to live by priority, not pressure. Pressure will have you responding to every text, answering every call, attending every meeting. But priority will have you say, no, I can't make that call. I'm building. No, I'm not free tonight. I'm sowing into my future. Pressure creates busyness. Priority creates legacy. You don't need a better planner. You need a better purpose. When your life is driven by purpose, your time has value. And when your time has value, you don't give it away cheap. You don't waste it on things that don't build you, grow you, or pay you. Let me make it plain. You need a time budget. Just like you wouldn't spend your money recklessly if you wanted to build wealth, you can't spend your hours recklessly if you want to build success. Every hour should have a return on investment. Are you learning? Are you earning? Are you developing? If not, you're leaking potential by the hour. And don't get me started on time thieves. You know what I'm talking about. People who always need something but never produce anything. Habits that entertain you but never educate you. Shows that make you laugh but rob your ambition. You have to get aggressive about protecting your time. Cut off the distractions. Block the noise. Get serious about your destiny. And it all starts in the morning. How you begin your day determines how you finish it. The first 2 hours of your day are sacred. Don't you dare give them to social media, negative news, or mindless entertainment. That's prime time, that's building time, that's seed time. Get quiet, get clear, and get moving. Read, plan, pray, work, train. Those hours build champions. Don't rent them out to anything that doesn't align with where you're going. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more intention in the hours you already have. People say time is money. No, it's not. Time is life. And how you spend it will determine whether you're remembered for having potential or for having results. So today, make the decision, I will not waste another hour. I will not give my time to things that don't grow me. I will be a steward of time, not a slave to distraction, because I understand this. If I can master my time, I can master my future. Let's go build. When you truly grasp that time is a seed, not a clock, everything in your life begins to shift. See, most people live by the clock. They watch the hours pass. They count down to the weekend. They measure their lives in minutes and deadlines. But if you only treat time as a clock, you'll always be reacting. You'll be a slave to appointments, alarms, and anxiety. You'll be counting time instead of investing it. But when you understand that time is a seed, you begin to live differently. A seed doesn't look like much on the surface. It's small, simple, and unimpressive. But when it's planted in the right soil and nurtured with the right habits, it becomes a tree, a harvest, a forest. That's what your time is. Every minute you spend reading, learning, building, creating, growing, it might not look like much today, but it's forming your future harvest. See, the problem is people want the fruit without planting the seed. They want the results without putting in the time. But success doesn't work like that. You don't get wealth, wisdom, or influence in a moment. You get it in increments. You sow in discipline and you reap in destiny. You sow in sacrifice and you reap in significance. That's the law of the seed. It never fails, it just takes time. When you treat time like a seed, you stop asking, what do I feel like doing right now? And you start asking, what harvest do I want to see in my life 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now? That mindset will change how you spend your evenings, how you handle distractions, how you invest in your personal development, because you realize every choice you make is a seed. Every habit you build is a seed. Every moment of focused effort is a seed. And here's the truth. Some people are broke not because they lack money, but because they've never planted their time into something that multiplies. They've been spending their seed instead of sowing it. You can't keep consuming all your time and expect a harvest. Time must be planted with intention, with faith, and with vision. So don't live by the clock. Don't just count the hours. Make the hours count. Plant your time where it produces. Invest your time like it matters, because it does. What you do today determines what grows tomorrow. And if you want a future you're proud of, start planting your time with purpose, starting now. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they confuse activity with productivity. They're always in motion, always doing something, always busy. But busy doesn't mean effective. Movement isn't progress. Just because you're sweating doesn't mean you're winning. You can run on a treadmill all day long and still end up in the same place. That's what most people's lives look like. They're exhausted, they're drained, they're always doing, but they're not producing anything that moves them closer to their goals. They're checking boxes, not building legacy. They're reacting to life instead of creating results. They live by task lists instead of transformation. Activity is about doing things. Productivity is about doing the right things. Productivity means you're getting closer to your desired outcome with every effort. It means your time, energy, and resources are being invested into things that actually grow your income, deepen your character, or multiply your impact. Productivity is intentional. Activity is emotional. One builds, the other just burns time. People wear busyness like a badge of honor. I'm so busy, they say, as if that means they're successful. But let me tell you something. Being busy might impress your friends, but it won't build your future. Only results do that. Don't let your calendar be full of things that don't move your life forward. Don't confuse fatigue with accomplishment. There are people who work 12-hour days and still aren't producing anything meaningful because their energy is being spent on distractions disguised as responsibilities. You've got to evaluate your time. Ask yourself every day, is what I'm doing right now creating value? Is this task building something? Is this meeting, this call, this conversation getting me closer to the life I want to live? If the answer is no, you need to cut it, delegate it, or redesign it. Your time is too valuable to be burned on low return activities. True productivity means you work with precision, not just passion. It means you measure outcomes, not effort. It means you don't just ask, how much did I do today, but rather, what did I actually achieve today? The people who win are the ones who work smarter, not longer. They do fewer things with greater intensity and sharper focus. They don't get distracted by tasks that feel important but lead nowhere. So stop applauding busyness. Start measuring fruitfulness. Because in the end, it's not about how much you did, it's about what you produced. And if you're not producing what matters, then it's time to stop, realign, and make the shift from activity to productivity. Because that's where success begins. Most people wake up every day and live by pressure. They let life dictate their schedule. They respond to every message, answer every phone call, jump on every request, and by the end of the day, they're drained, but not fulfilled. They were busy handling everyone else's emergencies, but they didn't make any progress on their own priorities. Living by pressure means you're reactive. You're constantly putting out fires that someone else started. You're driven by urgency instead of purpose. And here's the danger. If you live by pressure long enough, you'll start to believe that's normal. You'll start to confuse pressure with purpose, but they're not the same. One drains you, the other drives you. Pressure says this has to be done right now. Priority says this matters most in the long run. Pressure keeps you in survival mode. Priority moves you toward legacy. When you live by priority, you understand that everything urgent isn't important. And everything important doesn't scream for your attention. Some of the most important things in your life, your vision, your growth, your faith, your relationships, they're quiet. They don't demand you. They wait for you. And if you're not intentional, you'll neglect the very things that define your future because you were too busy reacting to the noise around you. Living by priority requires clarity. You've got to know what matters before the day begins. You've got to start your morning with vision, not just a to-do list. Because if you don't define your priorities, the world will assign its pressure to you. And trust me, the world is full of pressure. Emails, notifications, people pulling at you from every direction. But none of that means progress unless you're moving towards something that matters to you. You've got to get bold about this. You've got to look at your calendar and ask, does this reflect my values? Does this align with my goals? Or am I just busy being busy? Because here's the truth. If your schedule doesn't reflect your priorities, your life won't reflect your potential. Period. You've got to be willing to disappoint pressure in order to honor your purpose. That means saying no to things that sound good but aren't aligned. That means not answering every call. That means blocking out time to build what matters, even if nobody claps for you in the moment. Because here's what successful people understand. You don't live by reaction, you live by design. You don't let the day tell you what to do, you tell the day what it's for. When you live by priority, you're not moved by chaos. You're anchored by conviction. You don't waste your energy trying to please everyone. You channel that energy into building something that lasts. And eventually, the same people who pressured you will be the ones asking how you built what they didn't have the discipline to focus on. So don't be ruled by pressure. Pressure will always be there. But if you live by priority, you rise above it. You walk in purpose. You create impact. And you win, not just today, but for a lifetime. If you want to achieve real success, you can't just manage your time emotionally. You have to budget it strategically the same way a wise investor handles money. Every minute you have is a unit of value. And just like you wouldn't throw your money into random things with no return, you can't afford to throw your time into activities that don't move your life forward. You need a time budget. And every line item needs to be measured by ROI, return on investment. What are you getting back from the time you're spending? That's the question. Are you getting stronger, smarter, wealthier, closer to your purpose? Or are you just surviving another day, stuck in cycles that produce no fruit? The truth is, time is more precious than money because you can get money back, but you can never get time back. Once it's spent, it's gone. So you've got to become a steward of your time. That means planning your hours the way an investor plans a portfolio. Some time needs to be invested in skill building because skills raise your value. Some time needs to go into income-producing activities because money gives you options. Some time belongs to relationships that matter because connection sustains you. And some time needs to be invested in rest because your body is the engine of your vision. And if the engine breaks down, everything else stops. But far too many people spend hours on low ROI habits, scrolling, binge watching, gossiping, procrastinating, and then they wonder why nothing changes. They're pouring time into empty ground and they're expecting a harvest. That's not how it works. You reap what you sow, and if you're sowing your time into distractions, don't expect a harvest of success. Look at your daily schedule and ask yourself, what part of this is producing a return? Is that conversation building something? Is that task increasing your knowledge, your income, or your influence? Is that hour you just spent going to make a difference 90 days from now? If not, you're spending valuable seed on temporary satisfaction. You can't afford to let your time be stolen by convenience. Convenience has no ROI. Growth always demands intention. So you've got to sit down every week, yes, every week, and plan where your time is going. Block off your power hours. Set aside time for learning. Protect your work blocks. Guard your morning. Schedule your growth like it's a non-negotiable meeting, because it is. A time budget isn't about restriction. It's about alignment, and make sure your hours are flowing in the same direction as your vision. It ensures that you're not just active, but effective. It guarantees that your future is being built with consistency, not just hope. You don't become successful by accident. You get there by intention. And intention shows up in how you spend your time. So stop treating your time like it's unlimited. It's not. Treat it like what it is, your most valuable asset. Budget it with ROI in mind, and you'll see your life multiply. If you're serious about success, you have to get ruthless about one thing: eliminating time thieves. Because every dream, every goal, every breakthrough you're trying to reach is on the other side of your ability to protect your time. Time thieves are subtle. They don't always look like enemies. Sometimes they look like entertainment, fake obligations, bad habits, or even well-meaning people who have no vision. Let's get real. Some of the biggest threats to your future aren't massive failures, they're small distractions. They're 5-minute scroll sessions that turn into an hour. They're conversations that go nowhere, invitations that pull you off track, and habits that feel harmless but are robbing you of momentum. These things don't take your time all at once. They take it in pieces, slowly, quietly, consistently, until you look up and realize a whole year passed and nothing in your life changed. You've got to pay attention to where your time is leaking. Who are you talking to every day? What are you consuming? What's pulling your attention when you should be building, studying, or resting? Success demands clarity, and clarity requires focus. But you can't stay focused if you keep entertaining distractions just because they're convenient or familiar. There are people in your life who don't respect your time because they don't respect their own. They want to talk, complain, vent, hang out, or waste hours on nothing. And if you let them, they'll make you a prisoner to their problems. Listen carefully. Just because someone has access to you doesn't mean they deserve your time. You have to set boundaries. You have to say, I can't do that right now. I'm working on something. I'm not available for that conversation. You don't need to apologize for protecting your destiny. It's not just people, it's patterns. Multitasking is a time thief. Indecision is a time thief. Perfectionism is a time thief. You wait and overthink trying to get every detail perfect, and while you're hesitating, someone else is executing. And execution beats intention every time. Success requires subtraction. You don't need more hours, you need fewer distractions. And that means cutting out everything that doesn't align with your mission. It might mean uninstalling apps. It might mean changing your environment. It might mean creating space for silence so you can think clearly again. Whatever it takes, do it. Be relentless, be unapologetic, because every minute you reclaim from a time thief is a minute you can reinvest into your growth, your income, your relationships, and your future. You have to treat your time like gold, because it is. And gold doesn't sit around unprotected. Gold is guarded, secured, and handled with care. Your time deserves the same. Every second that goes by is either an investment or a loss. There is no neutral. So stop negotiating with distractions. Stop giving free rent to people, habits, and thoughts that don't serve your vision. Eliminate the time thieves and take back your power. If you want to dominate your day, you've got to master your morning momentum. The way you start your day determines the direction of everything that follows. Most people roll out of bed, grab their phone, check notifications, scroll social media, react to messages, And then they wonder why they feel behind before the day even begins. That's not a morning routine. That's a momentum killer. Your morning is the most powerful part of your day because it sets the emotional tone, the mental focus, and the spiritual alignment for everything else. It's the seedbed for clarity, confidence, and creativity. And if you give your first hour to the world, to noise, to distractions, you've already surrendered your authority before you've even left the house. Momentum isn't accidental, it's intentional. The most successful people don't wait to feel motivated in the morning. They create structure that generates momentum no matter how they feel. They have rituals, not reactions. They design their mornings with purpose, and because of that, their day flows with power. That means the first thing you do when you wake up matters. Before you touch a screen, you need to touch your purpose. Remind yourself who you are, where you're going, and what you're building. Read something that fuels your mind. Pray, meditate, or reflect to align your spirit. Move your body. Even 10 minutes of exercise flips a switch in your brain that says, we're in motion. Set your intention. Write your goals. Don't just wake up, rise up. And make no mistake, your morning starts the night before. You can't have powerful mornings if you have sloppy nights. You need to go to bed with intention. Prepare your clothes, plan your priorities, turn off the distractions, protect your sleep like your success depends on it, because it does. If you stay up late wasting time, you're stealing energy from the next day's mission. Mastering morning momentum also means owning your schedule before the world does. That means carving out time to build before you serve. Most people spend their best hours serving someone else's vision, but the truly impactful people spend their first energy building their own. Whether it's your business, your body, your book, or your belief system, give it your best hours, not your leftovers. And here's the secret most people miss. You don't have to win the whole day. You just have to win the morning. If you can own the first 60, 90 minutes, you have already outpaced the majority of people. That confidence, that momentum, that clarity, it carries into every decision you make, every conversation you have, every challenge you face. So stop waking up like life is happening to you. Wake up and happen to life. Command your morning. Take control of your energy. Build momentum before the day tries to steal it from you. Because when you master your mornings, you don't just win the day, you start winning your life. Time is not just something you spend, it's something you sow. And if you want a life of significance, a future filled with fruit, then every moment must be treated like a seed. You can't afford to drift through your days reacting to pressure, chasing activity, or entertaining distractions. You must rise with purpose, move with clarity, and protect your time like the treasure it is. The people who win in life are not the ones who do the most. They're the ones who do what matters most. They separate motion from meaning. They don't just live by the clock, they live by vision. They create time budgets with ROA in mind, eliminate every thief of progress, and fuel their days with the momentum they build in the morning. If you want to change your life, don't just change your goals, change how you spend your time. Because every breakthrough, every level of success, every dream you've been holding in your heart, it's all tied to one decision: what you choose to do with the hours in front of you. So stop living by default and start living by design. Protect your time, prioritize your purpose, plant with intention, and watch the harvest of success rise in your life, not someday, but starting right now.